The increasingly competitive space of private aviation.
Most popular private jet company, it's Vistajet.
Private jet company Vistajet planning to increase its fleet in the United States by 50%.
The largest private aviation firm recently announced that
it's your model, it's your idea.
Thanks, Alistair. Alistair invited me to talk to you today, but before I do that, Alistair, I have to make a big thank you to you and what you have done in the industry to bring us all together a couple of times here on the globe. I think is unique, and it deserves a huge round of applause. Great job, Alistair. You invited me to talk to you. I think this is probably the most experienced group of people in this industry coming together. So as we near our 15-year anniversary, most of you might have heard me talking about the Vistajet company. But what can I say what I've not already talked about with Vistajet? What I want to do today is really talk about the opportunities of this industry and how Vistajet came about and what I see for the next 15 years as we're celebrating in 2019 our 15-year anniversary. Today, I would like to discuss with you some of the most simplest questions and possibly the questions what we believe every client is asking this industry. And we're collecting this data from our 1,500 employees around the world, from the 20 offices. And I always say, we don't need a business development department. Just go out and spend time with your clients. They usually tell you what they really want. So today, let's discuss some of those questions. Let's imagine what a customer who is out there might ask, who might be looking for a simple and the most perfect solution. These are the questions that got me thinking about the total market opportunity. These are the questions that kicked off the idea of moving from Vistajet to Vista Global and looking at the entire industry. I've been in private aviation for 15 years now, and I didn't really plan to be in this. I was quite happy in my finance company. But I saw a huge opportunity. And I was always frustrated in the early days about chartering in this industry, because somehow you're paying between $10,000 and $15,000 per hour, per life hour, and you're not really sure what you're getting until you arrive at the airport. Think about it. If you book a Four Seasons presidential suite, it sets you back probably about the same amount of money, $10,000 to $15,000, but you have it for 24 hours. So this industry is 24 times more expensive than a presidential suite at the Four Seasons. And look what you get. We should be 24 times better than what you get and have an experience by having one night at the Four Seasons presidential suite. I think that's the bar we need to look at, and how we as an industry need to evolve and grow to really penetrate the market further. I know that David Khalil, my friend from Bombardier yesterday, talked about that this industry hasn't really grown in number of deliveries since 10 years. Are we really doing the best job out there to satisfy our clients and potential clients and further penetrate this marketplace? So I started thinking, when I was frustrated about this experience, not knowing what you get until you arrive at the airport, and I asked myself, can I have a flight experience to my liking even if I don't own the aircraft? This was the first opportunity I encountered to create a solution to be able to fly anywhere, anytime, with the highest level of service, just as if I would own the aircraft, and with an asset-light solution, because why do I need to own it if I just want to have the flight experience? And Vistajet was the solution: top aircraft, top service, correctly priced to be an alternative to ownership, and addressing the top end of the charter market. Now we have 73 aircraft around the world with customers who fly together close to 30,000 flights per year. This question from 15 years ago became reality. But can this model still grow? Well, let's look at the addressable marketplace. The addressable marketplace is 7,000 aircraft of the size of Challenger 300 and bigger. And if you take the 115, 116 airplanes we have today in Vista Global, and you add the fractional industry and a couple of other dedicated charter aircraft in this marketplace, there is another 6,600 aircraft out of the 7,000 which are dedicated. And these 6,600 aircraft, they fly in average 250 hours per year. Now think about it. The capital cost needs to be allocated over 250 hours per year. If you could only increase utilization by a factor of 4, then your capital cost per unit, your capital cost per hour would drop by a factor of 4. You fly 1,000 hours per year. The waste in this industry of having 6,600 aircraft only flying 250 hours per year is our opportunity. And let's not even think about the commercial aircraft market, where airplanes fly 3,500 to 4,000 hours per year. In this industry, it is a miracle if somebody talks about flying 1,000, 1,500 hours per year. It's our job to bring the unit cost price down and offer the best service. So I see, as most of you know, the world as an opportunity, and let's just pretend for a moment that I'm going to ask myself another question. How can I get a good flight experience at a value price point? Well, not all our customers need guaranteed availability. Not all customers need the greatest wine experience and catering experience on board. Not all customers need a flight attendant. Just a reliable, good flight. And the US market is really centered around the competitive value proposition. And as we were working to serve the growing demand for the Vista Group in the US, we met the team of Exojet. Incredible people who offer great service at the highest utilization rates in this industry, between 1,100 and 1,200 hours per aircraft. By increasing utilization, they keep prices for their customers at an optimal level. This approach can serve the majority of an $11 billion market opportunity. The global on-demand marketplace today is $11 billion annually, growing to $17 billion by 2025. It's a model that can expand to other regions. It's a product-based, reliable, safe flying opportunity for clients, but again, on a brand basis. And we talked about the Four Seasons earlier. there is very good value in staying at the Sheraton, staying at the Hilton, staying at a Grand Hyatt. Not everybody can afford or want to stay at the Four Seasons or Peninsula. And that's the approach ExoJet is taking. This brand will expand not only in the United States, will expand to Europe, India, Middle East. And that's what we liked about the fact that ExoJet offered a value-based product in the United States. We pitched to them to join us. Most of 2018's effort went into the acquisition of this company, and in December we acquired 100% of that company and they joined Vista Global. So let's go on and ask ourselves more questions about the market opportunity. Can you just send me a quote immediately? It's one of my favorite questions. Not everybody needs to fly Vistajet or ExoJet. Early last year, I had a friend in Athens, needed to go to Nice for a quick meeting. I didn't want to deploy a Vistajet aircraft, and it was on the weekend. I didn't want to disturb anybody at the company, so I just went on my iPhone, looked for a quick quote. And today there is a number of companies having approached the online booking subject matter. But the fact of the matter is, most of those apps, they show some aircraft and some indicative pricing. But then it takes a couple of hours, that was my experience, until you get an email back with an actual offer. And even if you book then, there is no instant execution on the back end. I'm not a very patient person. And I hate to wait, and I hate complications. I just want to get it behind me, out of my head. Booking, Athens, Nice, done. It works in the car industry, what we see with Uber. It hasn't hit this industry yet. So some people try to resolve this matter with slick front-end apps, but it's the execution on the back end which is not instant. Hence, you don't have an instant satisfaction and no instant buying opportunity. To manage the fleet of 116 aircraft which we own and to maximize utilization for Vistajet and ExoJet, we have developed a fully automated back-end technology. We can optimize the fleet movements and trigger instant bookings. And with this large number of data points we have, we can price anytime, anywhere, an optimal market rate. We can offer instant execution and increase customer satisfaction. Why should this technology not be available to the entire industry? If we all had stronger technology to work from, we could all provide a more streamlined service and improve the overall customer satisfaction. And it was that which made me create TechX as part of the Vista Global Group. And there will be more to come in the years ahead of us. So let me go out and ask another question. Why is it so complicated to get my own aircraft? I've been working to provide asset-side solutions for the last 15 years, and I clearly see that having a dedicated airplane is a very, very appealing proposition. Sharing economy doesn't work for everyone. The 6,600 aircraft I was talking before are all dedicated. And as we bought and took delivery of over 100 aircraft over the last 15 years, let me tell you that getting your own aircraft is not so easy. But buying one is not the only option. Wouldn't it be fantastic for this industry if we could reduce the time of receiving your own dedicated aircraft within, say, 5 days? Those are the questions clients are asking themselves. And it's our opportunity to explore that. So what do we need? We did an industry effort, manufacturers, insurance companies, financing companies, traders, brokers, to streamline the process and offer a simply monthly rate. Think about it. As a client, if you would just get one rate, $299 a month, everything included. Here is the document. All what customers want to do is fly, and the 6,600 I was talking about earlier, they want a dedicated solution. Those are the questions we need to ask ourselves, because those are the questions the clients, our industry, our counterpart, our consumer are asking themselves. This is why my vision was to add to the Vista Global family VistaLease, and to start this process and liberate even more energy for the entire industry to explore simple lease solutions, all-inclusive, for the global client base. So let's ask one more question. How will my next flight be? What we experience, we're sometimes so busy with ourselves. What the client is asking himself is, how good is my next flight? After 15 years, I came to realize that customers in this industry are all about that next flight. Is it satisfying? Can it even be better than the last one? I believe it can. And it drives satisfaction, and satisfaction drives more flying. Looking at this room, I want to start looking at how we can evolve as an industry and offer better solutions by working together and learning from each other to bring more benefits to the end client, being it technology, being it more simple solutions, but it's that client who we need to serve better. My dedication is to build a house of solutions for all the opportunities we have seen in the past 15 years and casting a wider view on the entire industry. That's why last September, I created Vista Global as the new parent for Vistajet, ExoJet, VistaLease, and TechX. It can only happen if we all work at scale. Because when we work together, we can make the business aviation world simpler, anywhere and anytime. Thank you very much.
Okay, we've already got quite a few questions. Sit wherever you like. We've already got questions coming in on Slido, but let's have your forecast for 2019.
Well, I think we all have to be very realistic that going into early 2019, we're seeing some major geopolitical headwinds. The industry is just coming out of a recovery which felt like it was a recovery for about 8 years. And the US government shutdown hurt a lot of people, including ourselves. Finally, it's over for about 15 days, I guess. Who knows what's coming next? Brexit is for sure a significant question mark. The general trend of more populist governments rather than a globalization-oriented world is certainly another headwind. I think we got to be all cautious, but at the same time, again, if you work with your clients, we always believe the next solution is around the corner, and that's what we'll continue to explore.
And in about 3 hours, you're announcing your results for 2018. Do you want to announce them earlier?
I mean, there's certain regulations, as we all know, in the financial industry that we have to inform everybody at the same time. The only thing I can say is both ExoJet and Vistajet have recorded another record year. A lot of efforts were taken to achieve those results. It's never easy. It's a lot of hard work every day, and we'll hopefully continue on this trend in 2019.
ExoJet's interesting, isn't it? Because it's a very different business to Vista, and you talk about it as the Hilton versus the Four Seasons. You're very much part of the Vistajet brand. Are you going to be much less visible with ExoJet?
No, I think I'm going to continue to be very visible. I mean, I probably don't know what else to do. I love this industry, and it's certainly more exciting than the finance industry. But I continue to see huge opportunities, and these opportunities are really at the Vista Global level, which hopefully I just explained with some very simple customer questions, which triggered the thought process of creating a much wider group. And just as Vistajet has its own marketplace, ExoJet has another marketplace, and I think every opportunity in this industry should deserve a very, very dedicated brand, and this is the multiple brand approach we're taking.
So I think one of the things people don't know about you is that you actually started out as an asset financier. And one of the questions from the audience is, how do you depreciate Vistajet's aircraft?
Very simple, over 25 years to zero. Although we see value in aircraft after 25 years.
And that's another question from the audience, is that a few years ago, your plan was to operate young aircraft and switch them out. That's changed?
Well, we just came through a massive, about $2 billion A, exchange and B, expansion phase in the years 2014, 15, and 16 on the back of the order in beginning of 2013. Our average age of aircraft is about 4 years at Vistajet, and we have, as of September this year, we're taking delivery of the first Global 7500. Again, a very exciting product, which we believe will be industry-leading for at least 2 years until the next competitor will offer this product. So we are committed to a young fleet. Is there a golden rule that after 5 years every airplane needs to be exchanged? The answer is no. As long as it provides very good value to our clients, we'll continue to operate these aircraft. And of course, if there's a refresh in the cabin needed, if there is technology needed to be installed, such as high-speed internet, then we will make those investments. And at the right point in time, when the industry and the manufacturers offer a true alternative to the existing product, we'll exchange airplanes.
Okay, we've got a question from either Dassault or Gulfstream. Any plans to order other brands than Bombardier? Wouldn't it be beneficial for Vistajet to play the OEM competition more? Have you ever been guilty of not playing the OEM competition?
Well, it's a fair question. I don't like the word playing. I think communication with manufacturers is important. We just inherited 26 Citation products with Exojet. That's 30 days ago, or say 40 days ago when we closed the deal. Other manufacturers offer great products. The order for the 7500s was placed in 2011, 2012. Sounds like a century ago, but I remember when it was in Atlanta at the air show and they rolled out this paper and it showed the floor plan. I was impressed, and here we are, $4.4 billion later of a huge investment of Bombardier, and it created an industry-leading, absolutely, industry-leading product. So we're always welcome to have other discussions with other manufacturers, but it's got to offer something dramatically better than what we have today. Otherwise, why change?
Okay, I'm going to jump. Do we have any questions from the room? Yeah. How many planes do you plan on buying this year?
Well, we want to stay very consistent with our message. We finished our global expansion program to cover what we call anywhere, anytime, guaranteed availability. We closed this chapter in 2017. We believe our fleet currently operating at about 900 hours per year. At Vistajet, we have about another 350 hours to go until this fleet is full at the current sales rates. This will be accomplished by the end of 2020. Exojet is already operating at full capacity. So we'll see some aircraft growth at Exojet. And as we're filling out the remaining capacity at Vistajet, we will be looking at adding airplanes post that full capacity.
Okay, the question you always get, is Vistajet Global profitable? If not, when can we expect it to break even?
Oh, again, there's many finance institutions in this room. They know our figures, and trust me, they wouldn't have given us the trust and the credit lines to embark on this total global expansion. So the answer is very simple. Vistajet is profitable, continues to stay profitable, and think about it. If you don't add anything for all of the financial people in the room, we have finished our global infrastructure build-out in 2017. So if you don't add interest and depreciation below the EBITDA line, then about 60 cents on every dollar of additional revenue falls to earnings before tax. That's how the financials work. So that's why there is a lot of earnings power in our business model, but it was as a single person initially, and then as of 2017 with Roan Capital. Was it easy to get here? No, but we're extremely proud today to have a $3 billion balance sheet and allowing us to serve our clients anywhere around the globe.
We've got a question saying that Exojet utilize their aircraft for 1,100 hours a year. What's your utilization on the Vistajet fleet?
In 2018, we achieved a utilization of 886.5 hours. I have a live app where I can see everything the company does on any KPI right here on the iPhone. And that utilization is intended to grow over 1,000 hours per aircraft in 2019. That would mean about 130 hours of additional utilization in 2019.
And we've got a question from a lawyer. If ExoJet is now a Vista Global asset, how are you satisfying the foreign ownership rules?
It's a very good question. The US operator of ExoJet is not controlled and not owned by Vista Global. That's controlled and owned by US citizens, and we're satisfying the US citizenship with this US investment of US citizens. Vista Global bought the fleet and bought the commercial facilities of ExoJet.
So many questions. Any more traditional questions from the audience? Question from Jet Aviation. Will ExoJet operate the US Vistajet fleet?
The answer is yes.
Okay. That was a nice, easy answer. I'm not used to those. Any more questions from the room? Yeah, Adam Tweidle, microphone's just coming to you now.
Hi, Thomas. You talk about clients and customers. One segment of that is the charter broker industry. How important is that to Vista, and do you intend to keep the proportions the same as you grow?
So how important is the charter business, charter brokers, and do you plan to keep the same proportions? You want to get rid of charter brokers, don't you?
No, the answer is that this business was built, it's all started by working and having great relationships with brokers around the world. We don't need to be at the end client. What we want is we want to drive as much utilization out of a given infrastructure, and the broker community have great relationships to many end clients in very remote cities around the globe, and we will never be able to cost effectively approach or serve those clients. Therefore, brokers are a very solid and for the long-term standing partnership with the Vista Global Group. What I would say though is, and I would say this to anybody in the room, I truly believe that technology and the digitalization will also hit this industry. And whether it's brokers, whether it's apps, whether it's the back-end operators, we all need to invest a lot more into technology to bring this industry into 2020. And it's just for me stunning. And again, I see it as an opportunity how backwards this industry is, and it's costly. You need to invest a lot of money. I'm very happy that both myself and my partners at Roan Capital really believe in the digitalization, and that's why TechX will be very much at the forefront of this effort.
Any more questions? Okay, so I have a theory about you, that you get bored, and so then you decide, I remember you telling me you were never going to launch in the US, and then you launched in the US. You were never going to buy any more aircraft, then you bought ExoJet. What's your plan for this year? Let's reveal it now. Are you going to buy another company or place a massive order? Well,
in 2018, I came second in Le Mans, so I'm going to take another shot at that. Jokes aside, hopefully I was able to outline the vision and the execution the company has ahead of itself in 2019 and 2020. We'll be focusing on selling more guaranteed availability in Vistajet. We're going to focus very much on ExoJet and the expansion of this brand outside the United States. We will be making significant capital investments in technology, and we will start launching VistaLease probably in the second half of 2019. So I think it's a full plate. We have 1,500 dedicated employees and partners around the world helping us with this effort, and it's a lot of hard work, but we're excited to do so.
Final question. It's a nice one from the audience. JetSmarter is a massive customer of ExoJet. What are your thoughts on sharing? And what's interesting is you've got Vistajet at the top of the pyramid. You've got ExoJet, Hilton. Do you want to own a Holiday Inn or a Airbnb?
Okay, I think we're done with that hotel example. But look, I'm looking at the overall market opportunity, and the overall market opportunity is definitely that $11 billion charter market. We've just acquired ExoJet, so I think we have our hands very full in exploring this as a trusted brand, not only in North America. They're not even flying to Canada, so North America for me includes Canada, Mexico, and the rest of it. Certainly the fleet has the capability to fly that. And then I see huge opportunities in countries like India, Middle East, also in Europe. And that's what we will be focusing on. I keep on saying that there is 7,000 airplanes in Challenger 300 and bigger category. Of course, there's another approximately 14,000 aircraft below the Challenger 300. And at this point in time, we have no plan, neither a clear execution vision on addressing these other 14,000 aircraft.
Any more questions? Final one then, which you're not going to want. We're seeing a lot of talk about IPOs and business aviation companies looking to float. Now you've got Roan Capital in, presumably they've got one eye on an exit. Any plans to IPO Vistajet, and would you like to announce it today?
Yeah. Well, we've taken a prudent decision in 2014 to adjust our accounting standards to what is called PCAOB, uplifted accounting standards. For the non-accountants in this room, this means that you are satisfying the New York Stock Exchange, and basically you can float or go IPO whenever you want to because you're ready. And many companies who one day wake up and say, we want to go public, they don't fulfill those standards. And I think recently, not from this industry, you take a company like Aramco, went through those issues. It's a great company, but they weren't ready. And what I always believe is Vista should be ready to access any capital market at any point in time when it is the right thing to do. And therefore, we're reporting to these highest accounting standards in the world, which at times was a pain because it's actually reporting like we would be public. And going back to your question, there is no near-term plan to go IPO whatsoever because Roan Capital came in, they invested a total of $400 million. And if the next question is, do I still control more than 50%? The answer is yes, by far. And at some point in time, for sure, public markets is an alternative. But we have our plate full, we have our hands full on executing on that business plan, which I was outlining to you under the Vista Global umbrella. And so you will not see this for the next couple of years.
Great. Final question.
Can we talk about Le Mans now?
Yeah, we can. I was going to. Can you sum up your next 15-year plan in one word?
Wow, that's difficult, one word. But I see a huge technology revolution hitting this industry. And one day we're going to wake up and it's just there. And it happened to all of the other industries. We got to be prepared for it. We got to invest now. We got to take the smartest heads we find in this industry to take on this challenge. I believe that utilization at 250 hours per aircraft in average is a huge waste. That's about 7 or 8% utilization of a commercial jet. And again, it's something which will hit this industry at some point in time. We all got to be prepared for it. So be prepared, work hard, but spend as much time as you can with your clients and not at air shows.
And on that one-word answer, thank you very much, Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.